So this is their second one. So yeah, it's pretty exciting.
May I ask you the question, were there any problems with visa? Because you often hear Chinese teams has some problems to get a visa. Were there any problems?
Not problems exactly. It's just that the visas for the Chinese teams take kind of long, and then we need IEM to send them the official letter. Sometimes they FedEx it over, and then they have to turn it in at the visa office. So like for one of the visas cleared, I think March 1st, and then March 2nd, like they booked everything and they flew. So yeah, the time was pretty tight, but yeah, it's not a problem exactly. It just takes a long time.
Okay. So Patrick, speaking of Fnatic, Fnatic is obviously one of the biggest esports organizations there is, and you got two really strong teams in League of Legends. Your team, the League of Legends squad, was in the semi-final of the Worlds.
Playing the finals. Well, yeah, definitely semi-finals of Worlds last year. Yes.
Yeah, right.
Correct.
And this year at the IEM Katowice, they're playing the finals against SKT right now.
That's
actually. Your Counter-Strike Global Offensive team is top of the world since a very long time. How do you manage to keep the high stake?
Yeah, so in addition to CSGO and LoL that are present here at Katowice, we also have our HOT team that did, quite well, to be honest. They also played into semi-finals, fortunately lost to Dignitas, so better luck for. In general, though, I think in our 10 years history, we have been successful to both spot talent at an early age, or even like bringing up talent, kind of unpolished diamonds, so to speak. So I think we have plenty of resources, great know-how, what it takes to become a pro gamer. We selectively hiring pro gamers in manager positions, because it just helps and ease the communication with the players, to understanding just the proactivity you need to have in this very fast-growing landscape. So yeah, we're having a very player-first politics internally, and I think that reflects on our performances across the field. Right now we have 5 divisions, and you can probably argue that at least three or even 4 of them are like definitely in the top 10 in the world, and that makes us quite unique in Fnatic, because few teams have such diversity as we have. But that's long term. I think that's always going to be our goal, because we understand that esports will and can come and go at an early at a fairly fast basis. We see StarCraft, for example, popping up of esports, but then StarCraft 2 started to fade away in favor of team-based games, especially MOBA titles. So how do you kind of protect yourself for that as a team? That is to invest in multiple types of game, and that's something we've been doing and will be doing even on a higher basis than we do now.
Another question for you, Patrick. Esports is getting bigger and bigger. What do you think about esports getting more mainstream? Mainstream is like a little negative word, but it's obviously getting in the media attention. What do you think? Where will esports head in the next few years?
Well, in the next few years, I think we're going to keep on filling out stadiums like we do now. I do also anticipate that a bunch of Western governments will acknowledge esports as any other sport, which will have benefits when it comes to the school system. For instance, we have had issues in the Swedish school system where schools literally can't run esport programs, or at least there are too much focus on esport because it's not deemed as a sport. Whereas kids at age 15 can start like with football and stuff like that. So that, I think, like just the general acceptance, I think is going to skyrocket over the next years. If I dare to predict a further future down the road, 10 years away, I don't think it necessarily has to be about the stadium, the physical celebrations, the spectacles. I think with VR technology, I think with better fiber broadband or whatever the technology is, when the world is more interconnected, I think we're going to see greater and more involving and engaging events that are played online. We're going to have both, of course, but right now it's, a lot of big areas in the world where you have a lot of players right now, they are somewhat excluded from esports, and I think that short term is going to be about getting them involved in the physical events. But in the future, I like to see us just like sitting at any point of time and compete against anyone in the world. That's something that is super fascinating to me.
I want to pass on the same question to you, Jenny. How do the Chinese pro players get recognized in their home in China? How is living as a pro in China?
I think It's kind of the same sort of as like in Korea. I mean, like the pro gamers when they're really young, I think maybe like they're 10 or so, like they grow up and like there are a lot of like the older pro gamers, so, like all these young kids, like they've seen that you can actually be a pro gamer, you can earn money, you can do it as sort of like a successful career. So it's not just something that like you do for fun.